21 years old today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Singer. Happy birthday.
I have my own mic.
Yes, you got your own mic.
Did you learn your Bob Kulick impression?
Yeah, my Bob Kulick impression.
Let's hear it.
Okay, here we go. Here's Bob Kulick talking to G.
Listen. Talk louder, Chuck. I can't hear you. Talk louder.
There's not going to be any money on the tour. That's okay.
I was just.
How was that? Was that good?
I'm just trying to get my bass tone so we can jam later. For your birthday! It's his birthday! Are you gonna sing that song for the Beatles? Are you gonna say it's your birthday? I don't know. What? Are there numbers high enough now, Eric? I just saw your mom out there, and she told me you should be nice to me. She told me to be nice. Okay.
We got a lot of people that want to talk to you. We have Davey out there. He used to be in the Navy. Davey is running the mic. Davey, where's your hand at?
Is this for me?
Oh, Davey, yes. Have a seat here. You want to take you a seat? Where do you?
Did you want to stand or talk?
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
I think we'll stand.
All right, stand. And Davey is our guy with the microphone. If you have a burning question, a burning desire, anything you want to talk to Eric about, the floor is yours for the next 30 minutes. So raise your hands if you want to ask a question. We got someone right here in the middle. Coming straight down from the back.
Got him, Martin? Oh, I thought that was the guy from... Isn't that the guy from Willy Wonka?
These are Eric's jokes, not my jokes. Right here, right in the middle. Somebody want to ask a question. Right in the middle. Yes. Right in the middle. Middle line.
The guy that looks like Herb Villaches, he's the one that you can talk to him.
Hey,
everybody. Great to see you.
What is your name? Where are you from?
My name's Doyle. I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
Doyle?
Hey, Doyle.
That's my middle name.
I'm aware of that, yeah.
Do me a favor. Hold the mic close to your mouth so we can all hear you.
Okay. Eric, the first thing I have to say is go Buckeyes, of course. All right, some good people here. My question for you is, one of my favorite Kiss songs is All for the Love of Rock and Roll. And I'd like you to talk a little bit about how you wrote that and what the creative process was behind it, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, Paul Stanley wrote that song. So Paul said, I'm going to write this song. He wrote the lyrics what he thought was more about my kind of attitude. So, you know, because he said Eric's kind of guy who really just likes to play, doesn't really care about all the, you know, pomp and circumstances, I call it. All the formalities and the rock star crap, which I'm not a big fan of. How you doing, Mom? Can you believe she's only 60? She had me when she was 4. Just kidding.
Thank you, Doyle, for the question. Who wants to ask a question?
I didn't answer it yet.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Who wants to listen to Eric finish his answer?
Who wants to listen to me talk instead of him? See how that works? Okay. Anyways, Paul wrote that song, but he said he wrote about my kind of like, not that I don't care, but a more carefree attitude about music and being in a band and all that kind of stuff. So I always thought the song sounded more like a country rock song. As soon as I heard it, I said this could have been, because a lot of the country bands nowadays are, to me, very similar to what was going on in the 80s. They all have the big hair and the big productions and all that. So anyways, that's the basic story. There's nothing exciting to tell about it. Hey, look at that little baby Ace. Hey! Come up here. Can I bring him up here? Look at this little kid, looks cool as hell. Come up here, baby Ace. Wow, he goes right for it. You look so cool. Wow, he's all happy too. Look how cool this. Put him up here. Stand up on there. Wow. Go like this. Go like that. Good. That's good. What's your name?
Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley? What's your name?
Ace Frehley.
Wow, you got it down. That's the next guitar player Kiss. What do you think, Chuck? He's almost as tall as me. I was going to say, you beat me to it. What is his name? What is his name? Leighton? Leighton, I think you get first prize. You look the coolest. He goes, I know. He knows it. How old are you?
3.
3? Wow, you look fantastic. You know that? He goes, I know. Do you want to meet Ace? Did you meet Ace yet?
We're going to take him right now.
Did you meet Ace yet? He met Ace?
No, we haven't.
Oh, we got to take him to meet Ace. You want to go meet Ace? Okay, take us. I saw him sitting there. He looked so cool. Russell, you need to have one of those. Because I'm working on it.
If you have any midget friends, dress him up as Ace right now. You can meet him for free.
That's exactly how it works.
David, we got.
How do you think I met Gene and Paul?
Yeah. Davey, another question. What do you got? What's your name? Where are you from?
Chris from Georgia.
All right.
Chris from Georgia?
From Georgia. Happy birthday, Eric.
Thank you.
What was it like working with Olivia Newton-John?
What's it, what?
What was it like working with Olivia Newton-John?
Okay, for those of you that don't know, I did a video with Olivia Newton-John in 1984. At the time, she was 5 or 6 months pregnant in that video. So she wore like a looser outfit, so you couldn't tell she was showing her bump. And that was her nephew playing bass in the video. And I was playing with Lita at the time, and somebody called up, I guess David Winters, the producer, I think he did some KISS videos as well. He was looking for a backing band, and he called up some of the guys that were, that had been in Lita's band and said, hey, I need some rock guys to be in the video. So I just played drums in the video, and we did it at the Starwood, which was a famous club in Hollywood, which has since been torn down and closed. But actually, when I moved to Hollywood, that club was already closed. That was a famous club where Van Halen used to play, and I think that's where Gene went to go see
KISS.
George Lynch to check his band out called The Boys, and Van Halen was opening. That's when Gene saw Van Halen and said, hey, I want to take you guys in the studio. That's where Gene first saw Van Halen, at the Starwood. Anyways, we did the video there, and if you actually check the lyrics out, the lyrics were about a menage a trois.
That she wrote about a menage a trois?
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Wow.
And that's
they
what
worked
there
out.
was to it. So I just got hired to be in the video. It was one of those situations where, somebody called me up, and
you didn't play on the song. You were just.
no, I didn't play on the record or anything. I just got hired to be the fake drummer in the video.
And how was she at that time? That's like after Grease.
That was 1984.
Yeah. So physical. Let's get physical.
Yeah, it was right after that. It was the next album after that.
Yeah.
The album was called Soul Kiss.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't even know that. Well, there's some trivia for you. Davey's got another question here in the second row. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Michael. I'm from St. Louis.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael. How you doing? We stole your team back, huh? The Rams.
Yeah, you did.
Well, actually, we didn't take them back. They were from. They were really the Cleveland Rams originally.
Yes.
Did you know that?
As far as football is concerned, I could care less. I'm a Cardinals fan.
Okay. He's like, shut up. I want to talk about KISS.
But I'm telling you, this is
I'm just saying because I'm from Cleveland, so they were originally the Cleveland Rams, and they moved to LA and became the LA Rams.
I think it's really hilarious. My last tour of duty was in...
Hold your mic close.
My last tour of duty was down in New Orleans.
Thank you.
And it used to be the New Orleans Jazz, and then they went to Utah. That really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I have to think about teams moving. Anyhow, my question is simple. You've had a long professional career as a percussionist and a drummer. What is your favorite song that you've ever played?
My favorite song I've ever played? Oh, that's tough. I got to play with Brian May, and I'm a huge Queen fan, so it has to probably be playing some Queen songs because I was such a Queen fan growing. When I was like a kid, 15, my 3 favorite bands were KISS, Queen, and Mott the Hoople. I know it seems like a weird trilogy, but those were my 3 favorite bands. So I ended up getting to work with people from 2 of those bands, But anyways, getting to play with Brian May and play those Queen songs was pretty special.
Is there any one Queen song in particular that was great to play live?
I'm trying to remember because we did a lot of Queen songs as well as solo stuff. Well, we did Tie Your Mother Down. Yeah, that's a cool song. And I'm trying to think of which one. Now I'm Here, which was we did that, which was very cool. And actually, I remember we rehearsed Dragon Attack, and I have a tape of me jamming on Dragon Attack with Brian at his house. We rehearsed it. He has a big mansion outside of London, and that we rehearsed in the home. He had a huge home studio, and basically we'd set up the equipment. I had the drums in the dining room, and he had his amps in the library, and then the band congregated in the living room around the grand piano, and we all wore headphones because we were going through the studio. And I remember I would always try to get him to play old songs that I liked, and I wanted to do Dragon Attack. So we jammed on it one day, and he gave me a copy of the rehearsal tape somewhere, but we never played it live.
Thanks for the question. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Eric. I'm Mark from Stamford, Connecticut.
All right.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Eric. So my question is about 2002, when you were in KISS, and at that time they made the decision to bring Chris back. And I was always curious, when they informed you of the news that they were bringing Peter back, what was that conversation like? Like, was it a band member?
I was on tour with Chuck when that happened.
Okay.
I already had, put it this way, I'll just put it in the simplest way. I was playing with KISS, and then, Ace decided he didn't want to stay in the band, and things were kind of, up and down, and so I think once Ace, a lot of people don't know, we tried to book a tour for Europe like 3 times. Ace would say yeah, and then he'd say no, yeah, no. Finally he just said, I don't want to do it, and they were planning a tour with Aerosmith, and I think that they just felt like, okay, we have to have 3 original members. At that time was the mindset. And so Tommy had just played that gig earlier in the year,
right,
at that private party in Jamaica. So they brought Peter back, and I had a feeling that was probably going to happen. So Alice went back on tour, and I just went back on tour with Alice.
When they told you that, did they give you any indication or tell you anything like eventually we're going to bring you back, which is ultimately what
No.
they did? So you didn't know if you were ever going to come back?
I think sometimes, there's a saying, you make it up as you're going along. I think kind of that's the mindset or the state of mind for the band, that, when people were deciding they didn't want to be in the band or did, they were just going, okay, well, Ace doesn't want to be in the band, so we got to figure out what's our next move or how we're going to handle this. And you just sometimes you just have to make it up or figure it out on the fly. Let's say you have a company and somebody in your company goes, I quit tomorrow, you got to go, okay, I got to find somebody. And that's what you do. You just keep moving.
I see. Okay.
Thank you.
Got a question back here by the soundboard? Dan?
Hey, thank you, Eric. For
I love
coming
your
to
shirt.
Minneapolis. Thank you.
That shirt is the best shirt. It's so great. I love it. Facebook with Ace. That's so funny.
But I love KISS.
Is that great?
I've never seen them before.
Come here, come up here. Come up here. You got to show everybody this shirt. Chuck, that shirt's the best shirt. Right? Move your lanyard so we can see it. Move your. Now, how great is that?
I did not trademark it.
It's a great shirt. You can't make that up. That is. I love it. You had it on last year.
I'm glad you got a good memory.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Gene is somewhere going?
Does this mean I own Facebook?
All right. What is your name? Where are you from?
Yeah. My name is Dan Kelleher. I'm from Carmel, Indiana. And I used to think I was the biggest KISS fan. But you know what? I'm an ordinary KISS fan. And I love KISS. I love coming to these things. I love the family element of it. I love talking to anybody. It's true. I love talking to you guys, just introducing myself to anybody, and everybody is really friendly. And that's the part that touches me, and I'm grateful for what you guys built here.
Did you have a question?
Yes, I did. When you're on tour, it's rough, right? On tour, it's rough. Long days, long nights. I want to know how you guys keep yourself in shape. Besides wanting sleep, what is your recommendation for eating? What's your recommendation for exercise? I want to know what's the secret to longevity, and happy birthday.
Thank you. I think the only thing you can try to do is eat well, sleep well. Like they always said, good living, clean living. You're going to have better recovery time, and you'll have better longevity in life just by taking care of yourself. But when we're not on tour, you gotta take care of yourself. Go to the gym or whatever. Like you can see, Craig does. He's a living specimen.
I was going to say, I also have Gene's answer to this question, and it is,
I have 5,000 Polaroids of how I stay in shape.
I don't know what that means, but apparently there's a lot of Polaroids. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
We got one over here.
Oh yeah, over in the corner, Davey's got somebody. What is your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Adam from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn!
My question is...
Got a tepid response.
Very lax.
We're in Indiana, in case you didn't.
All right.
Thanks, Indiana. So anyway, in an article you indicated that you don't necessarily like to do solos. You take part more in a collective. Is it more of a complex, or you just simply feel comfortable not doing solos?
I just think the idea of a drummer is playing music and playing songs. It's really how you can play in the context of a song. A lot of guys are great soloists and they do it on their own, but to me, it's what makes it, to me, a really good drummer is how you play a person's material, their songs. Because you're there to be the foundation, to be supportive of that. So I'm more interested in that.
We are already almost at the halfway point, so if you have a question for Eric,
Brian
raise your
has a question
hand
over
and
here.
let them know you're here. And they will. We got Davey running over to you. It looks like we have a board over here, or a mic over the
If you
board.
can see that small guy's hand up in there, which is very hard to see, he's the one with the microphone.
Hey, he makes
So
me look tall.
the guy that's 4'6". How tall are you, Martin?
Hey Eric, happy
You got
birthday.
Hey, Martin owns two Paul Stanley Corvettes. How about Martin?
That's right.
Martin, did you tell him the story that when you bought the car, it came with an empty tank of gas?
It was.
True story.
He ran out of gas.
Paul comes to our rehearsal at SAR. Paul gives him the keys to this nice, beautiful silver Corvette.
And he
red
left
leather
as fast as he
And then
could.
Paul goes, "See you later, Martin." Takes the money, leaves. Martin goes to start the car. Won't start. It was out of gas. Right?
Yeah, the second one, he made sure he filled it up. I think he busted his balls enough.
That was funny though.
Awesome.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Brian Singer from Detroit Rock City.
All right.
Happy
You're
birthday.
not the Marvel Comics guy, are you?
No, I spell mine with an I the right
Okay.
way. I have a question for you. You did a rocking Nothing to Lose on Unplugged, and you sing in concert. Is there any song that in the backlog that you really want to sing live, and what is it?
Is there any song in the back catalog that I want to sing?
Yeah, in the Kiss
But we've
catalog
done,
that
but
you wanna
we
sing.
on the cruise we've done some of the older songs like Getaway. We've done that a couple of times. That's always I thought was a cool song. We've done Mainline. We've done Black. I mean, those are the songs. I don't just sing them because that's the songs that Peter's saying. My voice is more suited to those type of songs. So it's just kind of coincidental. It was never like a master plan. Oh, let's get this guy because he can sing that style or that raspy style of singing. Gina Paul didn't even know I could sing when I joined the band until when we got in rehearsals and I go, "What parts do you want me to sing?" And they're like, "Okay, you sing." I'm like, "Well, just give me a part, I'll try," and that's how it kind of happened.
Got someone in the front row here to your right. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Eric, it's Sean from Chicago, and I just wanted to kind of get your glimpse on what you think the next 3 years are going to be of KISS.
Oh, I know. I couldn't tell you. The next 3 years of KISS, I don't know what the next 3 days are going to be.
Do you think there's going to be 10 cruises total, or?
I have no idea. You know something? I take KISS just like I take life, one day at a time. Right now, I'm here with you.
Sounds good. Thank you for
And
that.
that's how I take it. And tomorrow, I'll be here with you.
Thank you, Sean. We have somebody over here in the.
And Chuck, I'll be with Chuck too.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Chuck,
Hey, Eric.
can I talk? Will you talk to me? Okay.
I'm Joe from Detroit, Michigan, Rock City.
Detroit Rock City.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Is Mark Caccini here? Or is Mark?
I saw him earlier.
I kind of have a double whammy question for you. So the first part is, what's your favorite Alice Cooper song to play? And the second is, what was it like to go back and forth between Alice and KISS throughout the years? And what kind of toll did it have on you?
You can ask Chuck, he was around too. It was going back and forth was a lot of juggling. Sometimes we'd get somebody to come in and fill in for like a couple shows or a couple weeks or something. And Alice was always very cool about it. And the guys in the band were always very cool. And usually we brought somebody in, like Tommy Glafettos, who plays with Ozzy and Black Sabbath. So it was somebody that was a friend of the band and we knew, and always a pro. And regarding my favorite song, I always loved Cold Ethel. Cause it's got a cool drum. $1 Billion Babies obviously has a killer drum part, but that's kind of a no-brainer for a drummer as a favorite song. But I like Cold Ethel. It's got a really cool part, and I always liked also Black Widow or Go to Hell. I like those songs. Any of the older stuff, and also there was a song called You Drive Me Nervous. You guys still play that? Yeah, I love that song too. So Alice's drum, I gotta say, a lot of Alice songs, and I give a lot of credit to Bob Ezrin, because Bob Ezrin really was the arranger of those songs. And after working with Bob Ezrin, I really truly understood and appreciated the kind of input that he gives to an artist. He clearly helped invent Alice Cooper and a lot of those musical arrangements, because Bob's so musical. And he makes those songs fun to play. Did you meet Ace there, Leighton? Leighton, did you meet Ace?
Yeah!
Did you give him the finger? He goes, yeah.
Someone straight down the middle aisle over here. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Mick. I'm from Indy, but I originally grew up in Cadillac.
Nice.
My question is, who is the easiest guitarist to play with out of all the bands you've been in, and who is your favorite drummer?
There's a time to really suck up.
Who's the easiest guitar player that I played with? That's hard to say, because some like I played with Gary Moore. He was probably the most intense guitar player I played with, because he was like unbelievable. Always gave 100% and always on 10 with his intensity. So he was very demanding to play with, but also very rewarding because of what a phenomenal player. Brian May was probably my favorite guitar player to play with, definitely. Because it's not just the great songs that Queen had. Nobody sounds like Brian May. They really don't. He has this most unique, everything about his playing is unique. A lot of people, he and his father built that guitar that he plays by hand. The wood was from a 100-year-old fireplace, and he told me they used different parts from like a sewing machine for the whammy arm. It was totally a homemade guitar, and he uses a 6-pence English coin as a guitar pick. So everything about him, every aspect about his playing is completely unique, unlike any other guitar player I've ever played with or heard. And he writes such great parts and always the perfect solo for every song. So he was my favorite of all to ever play with, I have to say. As favorite drummers, I love so many drummers, and I'm influenced by so many drummers. But I would say Buddy Rich is my favorite drummer of all. Clearly, there's never been another drummer like him. And if you ever got to see him, you'd be like, wow. He will make your jaw drop on the ground. But I would say I've always been more influenced by bands. Like I was a big Kiss fan growing up, but I was a fan of Kiss as a band and more of the music. Same thing with like Zeppelin, Sabbath, Deep Purple, Montrose, all those kind of bands. Alice Cooper, Sweet. There were so many bands, Grand Funk Railroad, Humble Pie. And all those bands, it was really about the music and more about the band style and sound that I was influenced by. That said, I want to be in a band, or I want to play that style of music rather than just I want to play like that drummer. If that makes sense.
Thank you for the question. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Rob from here in Indy. Non-Kiss question.
Hold your mic close.
Are LeBron and PG going to the Lakers this year?
Are LeBron and who?
PG.
Paul George?
Yes.
PG-13?
PG-13. They're going to the Lakers.
I have no idea. Everybody wants to speculate all day. You must listen to Sports Talk Radio.
I do, but...
Oh yeah, I know. That's that kind of question. You know something? Right now, the playoffs are going on. I think that what's going to dictate that is the results of the playoffs.
We have time for one more question.
I want him to stay in Cleveland, obviously, because I'm from Cleveland. Just like I'm sure you got. Hey, I love that Kobe Bryant stayed on the Lakers his whole career. I love that Reggie Miller, who was one of my favorite players, that he stayed a Pacer his whole life. I love that. But it's a different era. Guys go where they can because they have choices.
We got one last question. What is your name? Where are you from?
Over there.
Over here?
We have him in the front here.
Oh, in the front? Okay, yep.
Hi.
Hi, I'm David. I'm from Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Minneapolis?
Minneapolis.
The home of Prince.
The home of Prince.
That's good.
Yeah, and my question goes back all the way back on the Revenge tour when you first joined KISS. And do you still own the drum kit that you used on that tour?
The red kit?
Yeah. No, the silver kit on stage.
No, on the Revenge tour. The very beginning we played a club tour, and we also did a UK tour with Leon with the Sphinx before we did the full Revenge tour. So I had a red kit, like a lipstick red colored kit. Then I had a mirror ball kit. No, I don't have that kit.
You don't have those?
I don't have either of those kits.
Oh, you don't have them anymore?
No.
What happened to them?
I sold it. Like every musician does with their old gear, right, Chuck? You sell your gear.
What year did you sell it? Do you remember?
You know something? I sold it to some guy, and then one day it turned up in some auction on MTV or something because the guy had gone to jail and he had to sell it. In fact, I got contacted because this guy got arrested, and his girlfriend contacted me to give us some kind of verification because the FBI was investigating him. And they wanted to make sure that he legitimately bought the kit from me because he got caught with some stolen goods, I guess. And then I saw the auction on like some kind of MTV auction thing, like in the late 90s. I don't even know what it was for. So I have no idea who owns it now or where it ended up.
How funny if it would turn up on KissOnline.com.
No.
Hey, thank you to Eric, and thank you for your time, especially on your birthday. One more time for the birthday boy. Eric Singer, is it bad to wish you a happy birthday? This is the Melt from Cleveland. The grilled cheese sandwich place in Cleveland. You ever been to the Melt?
No.
Oh my God.
Do you know what, Terry?
I got
the Melt. That's my brother-in-law.
I'm sending you to the Melt next time you go. The owner's a huge KISS fan.
Okay.
But thank you for joining us, and
you know it?
Yeah, Matt, the owner. But thank you for coming out, Eric. Thanks for your time.
When you say a big KISS fan, does that mean he's like big?
Yeah, he's 400 pounds. He's the biggest KISS fan in the world. Thank you, Eric, and happy birthday.
Thank you.